Ladies and gentlemen, it's Iron Bowl week. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to Tide Talk Live. I am your host, Stacy Blackwood, joined as always by my good buddy Jake Thomas for the Iron Bowl edition of Tide Talk Live, our preview and prediction show. Can't wait to dive into that here in just a minute. We are powered by the Believe Network, which makes us free and available wherever you find your podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe, download, whatever you got to do. We would appreciate that. Leave us those written reviews on our Apple Podcast. We'll be sure to read those on the next show. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Help us continue to grow there as well, and we would greatly appreciate it. Jake, it is Iron Bowl week, man. We're just a few days away from kickoff. I don't know about you, but I can't wait.
Yeah, man. It's a very exciting week. Got a lot going on this week, not only just the Iron Bowl, but the Egg Bowl, and then the big announcement from Lane Kiffin's also coming this week, supposedly. So it's a lot going on in the college football world, but we're here to talk about the Iron Bowl. So, I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah, there's been so much going on right now because of the coaching carousel, and of course Lane Kiffin has just dominated the headlines in the SEC, and I don't know what he's going to do, Jake. I mean, I if you'd asked me a month ago, I said he's not leaving Ole Miss because he can do whatever he wants, but now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you I know this was not even supposed to be a topic.
Yeah.
Where do you think Lane Kiffin coaches in 2026?
Well, if the rumors are true and the money is being offered to him from LSU, like is being rumored, it's hard to say no to $90 million. And so if that offer is on the table, yeah, I would have to say it's probably leaning towards LSU right now.
Yeah, I feel like if he was staying at Ole Miss, it would have already been said that he's staying at Ole Miss.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think it's going to be LSU, which I mean, obviously he's a good coach. I don't think he's an elite coach. I think he's a good coach. So I mean, I think it's still going to be, you're fighting for 9-3, 10-2 seasons. So
right.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Then I'll obviously be interested to see what Ole Miss does if Lane Kiffin does leave. That will be something to follow as well. But that's a show for another day and a topic for another day. But it is interesting. And for Alabama's perspective, there's been a lot of talk about Kane Womack potentially maybe taking the Arkansas job. But it looks like they've kind of zeroed in on Alex Golesh, the South Florida head coach, to be their guy, and that's a pretty good hire for the Razorbacks. So. Hopefully we can hold on to Kane because I think he's obviously a great defensive coordinator, and we'll talk more about the Alabama defense here in just a minute. Jake, I think before we kind of really dive into the matchup, I think we need to talk about, kind of what's at stake for both of these teams going into this matchup. Obviously, from Auburn's perspective, it's not quite as significant because I know they're fighting for a bowl game, which is important, but it's not really. But Alabama, Jake, you have to win this game or you miss the playoff. I mean, it's cut and dry. It's plain and simple. It's a must-win game for Alabama and Kalen DeBoer, which makes this, really I don't want to say a career-defining game for Kalen DeBoer, but early on in his Alabama tenure, year 2, he missed the playoff last year, and now if you go and lose to Auburn in the Iron Bowl to a team that's, barely has enough wins to make a bowl game, that seat could get potentially hot if you're Kalen DeBoer. So this is a milestone game for Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, Stacey, it's a milestone game for this Alabama team for sure. A lot more pressure got added to this game when they lost, a few weeks ago with Oklahoma. All they really had to do was beat Oklahoma, and they would have been sealed for the SEC championship game. Now you've got that, and like you said, the college football playoff all looming. There's a lot of scenarios where Alabama can still be left out of the SEC championship game. They can still make the college football playoffs, but you kind of need a big win here. You need to show the committee that, hey, we are an elite team, and you need to show that Saturday night against Auburn and Jordan Hare. And it's a place that Alabama has struggled at times at. I mean, really, the big teams, Alabama and Georgia, both have struggled at times there. I think I just looked the last like 5 Iron Bowls. I think or 6 Iron Bowls, like split 3-3 at Jordan Hare. So it's a big game for Kalen DeBoer, like you said, a big game for Alabama if they want to continue playing for a playoff push.
Okay, I'm trying to think those 3 times they've lost to Auburn there. Obviously, you have 2013, which is the kick 6. But okay, but Jake, Auburn was the runner up of the national championship in that year.
Right.
So
2017.
That's a dang good football team.
Yep.
Then 2017.
Yep.
Is that Jarrett Stidham quarterback year?
I think so. Yeah, 26-14 final on that one. They was number 6 at the time.
Okay, so they were a dang good football team.
Yep.
And then the other one was Bo Nix's freshman year, I guess.
48-45 in 2019. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What'd they do that year? I can't remember. How good was Auburn that year?
They were ranked 16 at the time. I don't remember.
Okay, I mean, so they were a pretty good team.
Right.
They were a pretty good team. I mean, in today's terms, they were a fringe playoff team.
All 3 of the losses Alabama had was against ranked Auburn teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically top 15 teams. Basically. Right.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you that because that's how I kind of remembered it being. Mm-hmm. I know we all talk about how hard it is to play at Jordan Hare, and it is. It's hard to come away with wins. And I know the last 2 times that Alabama's played there, you know, you had to have the Bryce Young 97-yard drive to tie it up before you win in 4 overtimes. You have to have Gravedigger with Jalen Milroe on 4th and 31 to come out of there with wins. But you do win those games. I mean, they still count as wins. And so, yes, it's tough to play there. But when Auburn has beaten Alabama in Jordan Hare Stadium, it's because they've had a really good football team too.
Right. That's at least 9 wins.
Yeah, that's kind of that's not really the case this year.
Yep.
They're a struggling team. Their offense has been really poor. I know they're going to start Ashton Daniels at quarterback, and but they're not as good as what those teams were. They're not as good as what they were with Bo Nix. Not as good as what they were with Jarrett Stidham. Not as good as what they were in 2013 with Nick Marshall. So this is 2 different stories in terms of how good this football team is for Auburn. Now, I'm not saying you should just take it to the bank that Alabama's going to win, but I do think it's important to note that, yes, Alabama does struggle there, but when Alabama's the better team or clearly the better team, they win this game.
Yeah.
So I do think that's important to say. But obviously, you know, you win this game, you go to the SEC championship game, and you're likely in the playoff. I don't think the committee leaves you out of the playoff, even if you drop the SEC championship game. If they do, then allowing SMU in last year was a complete joke. And to me, if the committee does that, they should be fired.
Yep.
I mean, how can you punish a team for playing in their conference championship game?
Right. When Notre Dame doesn't even have to play a conference championship game.
And how they're still ranked ahead of Alabama is beyond me.
Well, because of the rushing stats, you know.
Yeah, golly. I mean, had we known, had Coach DeBoer and Coach Grubb and Nick Sheridan and all the Alabama offensive coaching staff would have known how important the rushing game was to the playoff community and if you were going to get in the playoff or not, they probably would have put more emphasis on it in the offseason.
Probably so.
I mean, I had no idea, you know, playing the 4th toughest schedule in the country and going 9-2 so far wasn't enough to get the job done.
I know. It's crazy.
Too bad they can't run the ball. But also, and here's another thing, just kind of, you know, Oklahoma's the best defense we played all year. I would say in terms of pure rushing yardage, that's probably the best we've run the football all year, and we lost the game.
Right.
Yep. So you tell me, committee, what's important. Give me a break. What a pitiful excuse to not have them ranked ahead of Notre Dame.
Best defensive team we saw, and we still put up 406 yards of total offense against them.
Yeah.
And Ty has not looked sharp in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. And he hasn't looked like the elite guy that he looked earlier in the year. He's still playing pretty good football.
Yep.
But we'll talk more about that in just a second. But I don't want to leave this segment because I want to ask you, Jake, if Kalen DeBoer and Alabama doesn't win this game, what's the narrative?
I don't know. It would be like, Kalen DeBoer can't win the big games at Alabama. I mean, I don't know, or the must-win games at Alabama. Seems like last year Oklahoma was a must-win game and they blew it. And then, if the Iron Bowl is a must-win and it's shaping up to be a must-win and they lose it, then I guess that would probably be the narrative. Can Kalen DeBoer win the must-win games at Alabama in his tenure? And right now, if we happen to lose the Iron Bowl Saturday, that becomes a narrative. Then it's likely looking like to be true. Can he win the big games and the must-win games at Alabama? And at that point, it doesn't look like he can.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 straight years of missing the playoff at Alabama when it's a 12-team field. I mean, that's not good enough to get it done at Alabama.
Right. Yep.
And I believe in Kalen DeBoer. I really do.
I do too.
But I'm just trying to talk about what the narrative would be.
Right.
That's not the expectations at Alabama.
Yep.
All right, Jake, let's dive into this actual matchup. We'll start with Alabama's offense against the Auburn defense. I guess kind of what matchup are you looking at in this game? What does Alabama need to do well to have success on offense against this Auburn defense that's played pretty well all year long?
Yeah, the Auburn defense has played really well. The last couple of weeks, they haven't, played as great as they have. But I don't know if that is with DJ Durkin being the interim coach. He's not able to focus solely on the defense, so they've kind of looked a little lackluster there. Still playing really, really good defensively, but I think it's going to, again, cliche, Stacey. We talk about it every single week, but it's the trenches. Alabama offensive line, Auburn's got a very good front seven, and their defensive line is really good. We've got to keep Ty protected and hopefully find some holes to have just a decent rushing attack and keep Auburn off balance defensively, because I really think their secondary is good, but I think we have the playmakers to make plays in their secondary if Ty can find his rhythm again and find those guys open.
Yeah, it's obvious that the Alabama offense has kind of spit and sputtered their way down the back half of this season, Jake, and for whatever reason, they just can't seem to find a good rhythm. They're up and down. Either Ty is off or there's a drop. It's just hard to find consistent football on the offensive side if you're Alabama, and it's just kind of it's kind of made it to where defenses are kind of feasting on them a little bit and getting them in third down situations where Alabama's not comfortable, and they can get after Ty and force him to make a bad decision or maybe even get a fumble, which I think he's got 5 fumbles on the year now.
Yeah.
That's a killer. He throws a pick 6 against Oklahoma, throws 2 interceptions against Eastern Illinois. Now, one of them don't really count because it's, a Hail Mary. That's kind of, it's either a touchdown or an interception, So,
right.
But overall, I mean, it's hard to be too negative on Ty in this offense, but just looking for more consistency, Jake. That's all I really want. If this offense can just be consistent, move the chains, pick up first downs, finish in the red zone, you have a good chance of having success against Auburn.
Yep, that's right. I agree.
Right now, Jake, I'm just kind of looking up some stats. Overall in the SEC, Alabama's 6th offensively. They're averaging 33.8 points per game. And I think if they can reach that average in this game, I think you'd have to feel comfortable with a win.
Oh, yeah, especially the way the defense is playing the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I know it was Eastern Illinois, but that defense is firing all cylinders right now, only giving up 34 total yards in that game. Of course, it was, Eastern Illinois. But
I don't care if it's just me and you out there.
I know, right?
It's still 34 yards
and 4 quarters. I mean, it's great. And then they, Oklahoma maybe wasn't a high-powered offense, but holding them to, I think
right,
it was like
200.
200. Defense playing well. We'll talk about them in a minute, but yeah, I would say if Alabama at least gets 30 in this game, I think they have a great shot at winning.
Yeah, you would feel really comfortable with that.
Yeah, for sure.
This offense, Jake, what do you think is just? I know we talk about how it's been inconsistent. What do you think's kind of led to that?
It's got to be a little 50-50, little execution, a little bit of play calling. Seemed like Grubb very early in the year was in his bag and bad tricks, just getting guys wide open. I've noticed the last several weeks, I can't think of what the particular play is, but there's a play where Jeremy Bernard is open right in the middle of the field every single time we called that particular play, and we call it maybe 3 times a game. And I think it's all in the first half. Maybe we need to sprinkle that in the second half. Maybe it opens up, Jeremy Bernard having a wide open touchdown run. I don't know. But just the play calling hasn't been as great. And I know Grubb is a great offensive mind. He just has just kind of been stagnating the last couple of weeks. And that could be the not having a rushing attack to lean on as well. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think it's a multitude of things. I think it's inconsistent play along the offensive line because you've shuffled so many guys around. You've had some injuries there. I do think the lack of a consistent rushing attack has hurt this offense as well. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised when you put it all on Ty's shoulders that when he's not playing, at an elite level, that the offense kind of spits and sputters. So
right.
It makes sense when you think about it from that regard. But I just think that sometimes Grubb gets a little too aggressive in terms of trying to get the ball to, 15 or more yards down the field in the air.
Yep.
Sometimes it's best just to pick up those 4 and 5 yard plays.
Right.
The quick passing game, something a little less long developing to just get Ty comfortable in the game. I thought we would see more design runs for Ty this year as well. We just have not seen that, which to me I think would add a layer to this offense that would make it a little more or give it more opportunities to make explosive plays. So I do think it's just a mixture of it's never just one thing.
Right.
Hardly is it ever just one thing. The running back's got to play better. The O-line's got to play better. Ty has to be better. Receivers have to hold on to the football. And you mentioned the word execution. I do think there's been plenty of opportunities in games where if Alabama would simply execute what's there, then they would win. I mean, like late in that game against Oklahoma, Ty missed Jeremy Bernard wide open across the middle of the field. You complete that, Jake, I think you got to feel good about winning the football game.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're right down there about to score a touchdown.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
I mean, the truth is, Jeremy could catch that in stride and score on that play.
Right.
So, it's just executing. It just really, Alabama's a play or two away on offense in these games lately of busting the game wide open.
Right.
Like if you go back to the South Carolina game, we had 3 opportunities on a deep ball where the receivers have the guy beat. And Alabama's got like a 7-point lead at the time. They connect on that and go up 14. Who knows what happens? They might blow South Carolina out of the water instead of having to come back late in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Missed opportunities against Oklahoma. What's the other game that was sprinkled? LSU. Missed opportunities down the field against LSU. So it's just about taking advantage of those opportunities. If you're the Alabama offense, then you can start to create some separation on the scoreboard and make things a little easier on you.
Right. I agree, Stacey. And it's just, execution has not been there, like you mentioned, the last couple of weeks. But this is a good game to get right. And, like I said, we're going to have to go in with an attitude and try to impress the committee. And you need to be clicking on all cylinders in this game. And I think if Alabama clicks on all cylinders, they're going to have no trouble winning this game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very fair. Offensively, Jake, who's a guy you kind of have your eyes on, like I guess an X factor offensively?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. But an X factor here, I'm not sure, how he's going to be. Josh Cuevas, I've had him corner a couple of weeks, but I'm actually going to go with, I'm going to go with Ryan Williams. It just seems like he's going to have a big game. he's had an up and down season, but he's due for a big game. And everybody's talking about, I love Jeremy Bernard too, and everybody's talking about he's wide receiver number one. Ryan went one game and I think a half of a game, so a game and a half of not playing, and still mirrors or have better stats if he would have played in those games than Jeremy Bernard. Love Jeremy Bernard; he's a great asset, but Brian Williams just has that it factor. That it factor has not come alive yet this season. This is the game to do it, and I think he's going to have a big game, and I think he's going to have probably a couple of touchdowns in this game.
I love that because I'm right there with you. I think it's time for Ryan Williams to show that he is a superstar.
Yep.
He hasn't really shown that this year. He's been good in moments, but he's also had his down moments as well. We need superstar Hollywood Ryan Williams to show up.
Yep.
And there's no time better than the now against Auburn on their home turf. And he can kind of silence a lot of doubters with a big game. So we need Ryan Williams to step up. I love that pick. I'm going to go. I'm going to kind of go in a cheap way. I'm just going to say the X factor is Alabama's offensive line.
Yeah, that's a good one
because it's difficult to protect on the road because the environment. You can't have a audible snap count because it's going to be so loud in there. So you have to go on a clap or something. So how quick Auburn's defenders catch up on the timing of that is huge. So the offensive line's got to be, ready to play. I really think they could. I feel like Daniel Hill is just on the edge of starting to kind of be that guy you want as RB1. So hopefully the run blocking can be there. So just the entire offensive line, Jake, Alabama needs them to play well if they want to win this game.
I agree, Stacey. Caden Proctor, time for you to step up. Wilkin Formby, Michael Carroll, Parker Brailsworth, them guys, Cam DeBoer. All eyes on you this week because I think, like I mentioned earlier, it's really cliche to say that the game's won in the trenches, but it is. It's one in the trenches, and Alabama has got to win this trench game in this game for sure.
And they got guys on the edge like Keldrick Falk who can flat out play. I mean,
right.
So you better bring your A game because he's going to bring his. So you got to show up in a big way if you're especially the tackles. You can't allow the Auburn pass rush to start wreaking havoc because if you allow that to happen, man, that's when the crowd starts really getting into it, and you don't want that to happen. You do not want that to happen.
Absolutely not.
All right, Jake, defensively for Alabama against this Auburn offense that's really had a poor season overall for Auburn. I know Deuce Knight had a nice showing last week against Mercer. Ashton Daniels had a moment against Vanderbilt as well where he had a good game, and he's actually going to get the start against Alabama at quarterback. So I guess what are you looking at most in this game if you're Alabama's defense? What do they need to do well to win to give Alabama the best chance to win?
Really, I think Auburn has a running back in Jeremiah Cobb who I believe is destined to do good things in his career if he stays at Auburn. He's a really good running back. I've been impressed with him. Looks like it seems like every time he gets the ball and he plays, he's nearing 100 yards. I think he's around maybe 70 or 80 yards a game this year, which is really, really respectable in SEC play. But I think the biggest thing is to keep him in check. Don't let him get out and have a field day against you. We know Alabama's rush defense has not been the best. I feel like it's gotten a lot better the last couple of weeks. We really kept Washington for Oklahoma in check, and so I think we need to continue that momentum on the Russian side of things, Russian attack defensively, and keep him in check. And also do not let Ashton Daniels get free and start running the ball. And keep your eye out on Cam Coleman. He is a stud, and it's going to be hard. 1-on-1, he's going to make that play. So he's going to get his. So we just got to bring him down once he gets the ball. Don't let him start wreaking havoc as well.
Yeah, I think if you're Alabama, you would be okay with Cam Coleman kind of getting his, but you can't let anybody else on that Auburn offense beat you.
Right.
So to me, it's about we'll let you have your 4 or 5 plays to Cam Coleman in the game as long as they're not all touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't allow that, but but don't let anybody else beat you. You can't allow Jeremiah Cobb to run all over you. You can't allow Ashton Daniels to break the pocket and continue to pick up first downs and keep the chains moving with his legs. But I just think it's about limiting what Ashton Daniels, make him beat you within the pocket. It's to me, he's similar to what you have to do with like Diego Pavia and John Mateer. I think if you and we saw that Alabama was able to do a good job against those two guys. So I think if you're Kane Womack, you kind of know what you got to do and have a good kind of game plan for how you want to go about it. And I think if they can do that, they're going to have a lot of success. And this Auburn offensive line has really struggled in pass protection this year. So if Alabama can force some of those third down long opportunities to allow Yanze Pierre, LT Overton, James Smith, and those guys to kind of pin their ears back and come after you, I think that's going to lead to a lot of success for this Alabama pass rush, who has really turned it on the last, 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, for that's when everything's turned around for the defense. I would say is when we started getting a pass rush and getting to quarterbacks.
Talking about Cam Calhoun, Jake, I'm almost in the thing where, man, if you're Dijon Lee, you just follow Cam Coleman. You want.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Cam
You
Calhoun.
say
He plays for Alabama.
Yeah.
You just follow Cam Coleman wherever he goes. If he goes to the bathroom, you go with him.
You're right. Yeah, because that's the guy who can match up well with him because of his size.
Yeah, I mean he's bigger than Coleman.
Right. Exactly.
So that I don't think we're going to do that. I think it's just going to be, if he lines up on Xavier's side, that's who's got him. If he lines up on Dijon Lee, but I think Auburn's going to do their best to get Cam Coleman the football as much as possible.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and they have it right.
He's their best playmaker.
Absolutely, yeah. He is elite for sure.
X factor for Alabama's defense, Jake. Man, we got plenty to choose from. Plenty.
Yeah.
You got.
Well, in a game like this, season on the line, this guy is probably, he's not going to really be playing his last game in an Alabama uniform if they win, but a guy I'm looking at to have a big game is Bray Hubbard. This guy lies.
I knew you were going to pick him.
I know this guy.
That's who I wanted to pick.
I know. It just feels like he loves physicality. He loves, going around hitting people, and he knows what's at stake in this game. And everything he's said throughout the season, especially after the Florida State game, that dude's got a great head on his shoulders, and he knows what's at stake in this game, and he's going to try to make an impact as much as possible in this game to change the tide, per se.
I love that. Bray Hubbard's, man, he's just a dude. I mean,
he is.
He's a playmaker. I'm gonna go with an interior guy. I'm gonna go with somebody like James Smith. I think we need James Smith to step up and just create a lot of havoc in that Auburn backfield, whether it's against the run for tackles for loss, getting after Ashton Daniels at the quarterback position. Because I think if we can pressure from the interior and allow the pocket to kind of continue to close on him, that's going to give Alabama the most success on defense. So I'm looking at James Smith to kind of be that X factor for Alabama.
I love it. We need somebody on the interior to have a big game here, and he's due for one for sure.
All right, bowl prediction time, Jake. This is one of our favorite segments each and every week. Need one for each side of the ball. We'll start with your defensive bowl prediction.
Well, I just had Bray Hubbard as an X factor, but I'm not going him as an X factor or my bowl predictor here. I actually think we just talked about him, but I think Dijon Lee has a pick six in this game. I think he gets the best of Cam Coleman at one time, gets a pick and runs it to the house. And I would say it's probably going to be a bat breaker, and you're going to see Alabama roll big after that point.
Now, that's a bold prediction. That's a bold prediction. Defensively for me, Jake, I think Alabama gets 3 or more sacks in this game. I think that's going to be a huge story on Saturday night, is Alabama's ability to just, create a lot of havoc in the Auburn backfield and get a lot of tackles for loss and rack up on some sacks and really dominate the line of scrimmage to help give them the victory. All right, offensively, Jake, bold prediction.
Ron Williams is my X factor, but I don't want him to be my guy either. I think he's really going to have a big game, but I'm going to look at a guy like Daniel Hill. I think he's going to do just enough to keep the Auburn defense at bay, so they're not rushing and pinning their ears back to get in the tie. They're having to play like, okay, Daniel Hill is kind of coming to his own here. I'm not going to say he's going to rush for 100. I'm going to say he maybe gets 75 yards in this game with a touchdown, and he kind of, like you said, solidifies himself as the running back number one for the future of this team.
I love it, and my bold prediction is going to involve Daniel Hill, but I'm going to go a little bit different, kind of the same, but a little bit different. Expand on that bold prediction. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that Daniel Hill has over 120 all-purpose yards.
Wow!
So in terms of running the football and catching the ball out of the backfield, which I think is going to be a huge part of this game, I think Daniel Hill is going to be a massive impact player for Alabama on Saturday night. I really believe that.
I do too. He's coming to his own. And he's due for a come out game, and this is a good time to do it.
All right, Jake, it's time for our score predictions for the 2025 Iron Bowl. Alabama at Auburn, 6:30 on ABC. FanDuel has Alabama as a 5.5-point favorite with the over and under sitting at 46.5. Jake, I feel like I know who you're going to pick, but I guess the real question is, does Alabama cover the 5.5?
I think they do, Stacy, and here's why. We talked early in the in the show, the teams that have beat Alabama at Jordan-Hare were 9-3, ranked top 25, top 15 top teams, really good, physical Auburn top teams. They have playmakers on this team for sure, but they're not the same right now. They're down. My biggest question is, will they be playing up to maybe show the rumors are John Summerall is going to be their next coach? Show everybody's going to be showing what they have, what he's going to be getting from them in this game. Maybe, I don't know, but I expect a lot of turnover this offseason in that roster. So I just think Alabama is definitely the better team, and I think we weather the early storm. We may get down maybe 7-0 early on, but I think we handle that crowd and we get into our rhythm. Ty starts moving the ball, starts finding his playmakers. Ryan Williams shows up and becomes that superstar we want him to be. Daniel Hill just chugs gets yard after yard after yard. I think Alabama, if they can hit that 30 point like we talked about, they win this game. I think they're going to score 31 and win 31-17.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, my question, obviously, we can talk about how you can throw out the records and throw out all that stuff in terms of the Iron Bowl, and to a certain extent, that's true. But I would say the better team usually wins this game.
100%.
I mean, I would say that's usually the case. I mean, even go back to like 2010 when Auburn came back and beat us with Cam Newton. Auburn was the better team that year.
Right.
I mean, they won the national championship and they had the best player maybe of the last 50 years in college football.
Yeah.
Or one of. So, usually the better team wins. Auburn is in a little bit of a weird spot. DJ Durkin's the interim head coach. He's some talk about how he's kind of coaching for potentially the job if he beats Alabama. Like, it feels like they're in a really weird spot. You talk about how John Summerall seems to be the favorite to be the head coach, which is, what most people are hearing. So it just feels like Auburn's kind of in a weird spot. I'm with you. I think they come out hot, though. They're going to come out firing on all cylinders. But when I look at this Auburn team against this Alabama team, the way I see it most is I'm not sure Auburn can consistently move the ball on offense against Alabama's defense.
Right.
And despite Auburn having pretty good defense, which, like you said, the back half of the season, they've I don't want to say they've struggled, but they've really faltered a good bit the last few weeks on defense.
Yeah, they have.
And I just feel like Alabama's going to be good enough on offense to move the ball and score some points.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, I just don't see a scenario where Auburn can consistently move the ball against this Alabama defense. And so I'm with you. I think Alabama gets the win. I think they cover. I think it's more of a I don't want to say a statement game for Alabama, but this is a prove it to me game for Kalen DeBoer.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah,
Jake,
I
if he
agree.
can come out and kind of put a whooping on Auburn, earn Alabama that SEC title bid, earn a berth in the college football playoff, then I think everybody, including the coaching staff and the Alabama fan base, can kind of release that first since Nick Saban retired.
Right. Yep.
Because I think if you get this win and you know that you've clinched a playoff spot, you kind of get that sense of relief. Like, okay, we're over that hump now in the post Saban era.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get behind our guy.
Right.
So this just feels like a pivotal game for Coach DeBoer, and I really feel like Alabama's going to execute at a high level, and I think they're going to win this game 35-14. I think they are going to come to Auburn with something to prove.
Yeah, I agree 100% with
If
that.
Alabama takes care of the football,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama can win this game by 17 plus points.
Absolutely. Yep. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I really like where Alabama's at right now. I know the offense has been inconsistent, but the defense travels, man, and the defense is playing at an elite level. They're playing as good as anybody in the country.
Yeah, they are
on that side of the ball. And I think this Auburn team is susceptible to turning the football over. And I think if that happens, then this game could get ugly for Auburn in the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be a good Iron Bowl, Stacy. And I'm with you. If Alabama comes out, plays their game, and I've said this, and I'm not trying to be a homer, but the talent level at Alabama, if they come out and play their game, they match up with and can beat anyone on their schedule. Let's just be honest. And that's not going to change anytime soon. This coaching staff on the recruiting trail this upcoming year has got some dudes on that staff as well. So let's go out, win this game, get a SEC title berth. Win or lose that one, like you said, I still think we're going to be in the college football playoff. If they do punish us, then I guarantee Greg Sankey will be canceling the SEC conference championship game next year, and we'll never have another game.
Yeah, what's the point of it?
Right, exactly. I mean, if you're going to punish the loser, it shouldn't happen. But especially when you got Ole Miss and Georgia probably going to be sitting at home, not having to play an extra game.
Yeah.
So, but we've got to beat Auburn first. I think this team can do it. They rally around Kalen DeBoer, get that, like you said, get that pressure off their shoulders, make the college football playoff, and then, like you said, everybody can say, okay, this is our guy. Let's go out and have fun the rest of the way with Kalen DeBoer. And man, he's loose right now. I love his demeanor the last couple weeks, especially since that loss at Florida State. He's just been loose. He's been more, just being himself now. It feels like he's not letting that pressure, get to him. Like, man, I'm following the greatest ever. He's like, I can't be that guy. I got to be Kalen DeBoer. It feels like he's doing that now and being himself when he coaches his team.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up, man. A lot of fun. Cannot wait for Saturday night. I really feel like this is going to be a good opportunity for Coach DeBoer to kind of make his mark as the Alabama head coach. So looking forward to that. All right, guys, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Download, subscribe, follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. Just search Tide Talk Live. Leave us those written reviews there. We'd appreciate it. Jump in the comments, give us a roll tide, and give us your score prediction so we can kind of compare those throughout the weekend. But appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you real soon. And until then, roll tide.
Roll Tide.